Hello everyone. Today we are going to start with the dynamics part of engineering mechanics. We are all aware of the fact that engineering mechanics is divided into two parts. One is statics, the other one is dynamics. In statics, we were dealing with a body in rest or with zero velocity or zero motion. In dynamics, we are going to deal with all objects which are in motion. So if a particular body is moving from point A to B, the problem that we'll solve for this particular body, or the analysis part that we'll do, is going to come under dynamics. Now dynamics is further divided into two categories. One is kinematics and the other one is kinetics. What is the difference between kinematics and kinetics? We are all very well versed with motion parameters. Basically every term that is related to motion, for example velocity, acceleration, displacement, time taken for the body to move from one point to another, so on and so forth. So these are called as motion parameters. When we are analyzing a particular problem using only motion parameters, then it comes under kinematics. But when we consider the forces due to which the motion is taking place along with these motion parameters, then the problem comes under kinetics. For example, let us assume that a box is moving from point A to B. In this case, it will have a certain velocity, it will have an acceleration if there are, if possible, if there is going to be a displacement from point 1 to point 2, and there is going to be time taken, a certain time taken for the box to move from point 1 to point 2. So when we are considering only these parameters in the given problem, then it comes under kinematics. But when we also consider the amount of force required for the box to move from point 1 to point 2 along with these motion parameters, then the problem is a problem based on kinetics of that particular object. Okay, in today's lecture we are going to focus more on the kinematics part, that is we are only going to deal with motion parameters. Now there are different motion parameters, for example velocity, acceleration, displacement, time taken by that body, and so on. Now every motion parameter is divided into two categories. We all know that a vector is a quantity which provides us the magnitude of that particular parameter along with the direction, and a scalar is a parameter which just gives us the magnitude. So if I say that the distance traveled by a particular object is so and so meter, it is going to cover up the entire distance. The displacement, in spite of the distance traveled being, let us say 10 meter, 20 meter, can be 0 meter as well, because displacement is the shortest distance traveled or shortest distance from the initial point to the final point. Okay, velocity is the same. Velocity will give you the speed along with the direction. Okay, so I can say 35 meter per second due north is a velocity, while when I say just 35 meter per second, that's going to be the speed. Okay, so this is the basic difference between vectors and scalars. Displacement and distance are denoted by s or x, while velocity and speed are denoted by v and u. Coming down to acceleration, what is acceleration? It is basically the rate of change of velocity with respect to time. We are assuming an object A. At time t equal to 0 seconds, it has a velocity of 5 meter per second, let us assume, and it is moving towards the right. Now at time t1, that is after 5 seconds, the body is at point B and has a velocity that has increased to 10 meter per second. So what is the increase in the velocity in this 5 seconds is nothing but the acceleration. In equation form, it's going to be v1 minus v0 upon t1 minus t0. Acceleration is commonly denoted by dv by dt, that is the differentiation of velocity with respect to time. Now in this case, if you substitute the values, then you have 10 minus 5 divided by 5 minus 0, that is 5 upon 5. So the acceleration comes out to be 1 meter per second square. Okay. Another term that is related to acceleration is deceleration. So negative acceleration. So when the speed reduces instead of increasing with respect to time, it is known as deceleration, and I have shown it in this example here. So at A, the velocity is 20 meter per second at time 0 seconds, and it decreases to 10 meter per second at time 5 seconds. If you substitute the values in the same above equation, you get minus 10 upon 5, where acceleration, so if I am talking about acceleration, then I am going to say minus 2 meter per second square, but if I say the deceleration, then I'm going to say the deceleration is 2 meter per second square. So acceleration is minus 2 meter per second square, implies deceleration is 2 meter per second square. Okay. Next we are going to move on to the different types of motions. Motions are divided broadly into three categories. First one is rectilinear motion. The name is pretty clear, or makes it pretty clear. It's any motion in a straight line path. So let us say I have started from point A and I'm moving to B and then C, and this is all in a straight line path. This kind of a motion is called as rectilinear motion. Okay. An example can be given as motion of an object on a straight conveyor belt. Okay, assume this is the conveyor belt, it is moving in a clockwise direction. So if I place an object here on the conveyor belt, it is going to move in a straight line path from point A to point B. Okay. Similarly, curvilinear motion is a motion on a curved path. So it can be a part of a circle, it can be an arc, or it can be a circular motion as well. Okay, so in this case you can see that I am moving from point A to B, which is circular or a part of a circle. It can be considered as an arc of a circle, and similarly from B to C it is another arc of a circle. So this entire motion is called as a curvilinear motion. Now rotation of a merry-go-round seat. So if I am considering one single seat here, with time, what is going to happen? The seat is going to move along this particular circumference of the circle, and it's going to come down at B. Okay, so this kind of a motion is called as curvilinear motion. So if you consider just the seat of this merry-go-round, it's going to travel a curved path. Clear? Now there's the third motion, that is general plane motion, commonly known as the GPM. What is GPM? It is the linear motion and curvilinear motion combined. So if you assume that there is a vehicle on top of this, and it's a vehicle tire that we are talking about, or a vehicle tire that we see, and if I mark a point A here, along with time, if the vehicle starts moving, what is going to happen? A is going to rotate along the circumference, correct? And simultaneously is going to move from this point 1 to point 2 as well. So it's going to move from point 1 to 2 in a linear fashion, and it's going to move from point A to A1 in a curvilinear fashion. So we are combining linear and curved motions or curved paths, and this is called as the general plane motion. Okay, coming down to different types of motions in rectilinear, we see that around us we see different types of motions in different planes. Okay, broadly you can have one in horizontal plane, correct, and the other one in a vertical plane. So we are going to focus more on the types of accelerations that we deal with in horizontal and vertical plane motions. In horizontal plane motion, you will mostly have a constant acceleration and a variable acceleration. Okay. Similarly, in vertical as well, you will have a constant acceleration problem and a variable acceleration problem. We are going to cover constant acceleration in horizontal motion, variable acceleration in horizontal motion, and constant acceleration in vertical motion. Okay, we are going to right now leave this for the later part. Clear? Thank you.